What's up guys, welcome to another video. So this should be a fun one. This is Kai here, and this is his 2005 Lotus Elise. So tell me about your car.
So I bought this about a year and a few months ago. I'd wanted an Elise since they ever were first announced the Series 1s back in Europe. I never thought they'd come to the States. So when they finally did come in, I think it was 2004, 2005, the plan was, how do I get into this car?
Mm-hmm.
And then along the way, some things happened, and I kept getting pushed out, and last year made it happen. So,
as you were explaining earlier, the Series 1, I think that was not available in the US, correct?
I don't think they ever officially imported it.
Okay, so this is the first model year Elise that was even available in the US.
This was the federal Elise that they started to bring in.
And this has the Toyota 2ZZ as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like the Exige S S240 that I drove last week, but this doesn't have a supercharger, right?
Right, this is just normally aspirated.
Okay, so 1.8 liter?
1.8 liter, I think it's 190 horsepower.
190 horsepower. So dual overhead cam, inline 4. And I believe this has the Toyota's VVT-Li system. I think variable valve timing and lift, something intelligent, something or another. Basically, it's Toyota's VTEC.
Yeah, and once the engine gets the temperature, you can access that at higher RPMs.
Okay, and that kicks in at what, like over 6,000?
Yeah, I think it's 6,500. But
okay,
and I'm sure right now everybody's correcting me, but
Well, someone in the comments will be snarky and correct you.
Yeah, which is good because I don't actually know.
And it revs to over 8,000, right?
Oh yeah.
There's actually not a red line on here. What is the actual red line of this car?
I've never taken it past 8.
Okay.
So
we'll stick to 8 then. I know I just drove the Exige S240 not long ago. Amazing as it was very fast, had a ton of grip, great handling. At the end of the day, it's just not the right car for this road, where the surface is not smooth tarmac like a racetrack. That car is meant for the racetrack, and with the upgrade kit giving it 300 horsepower, it was just a little too much for this road. So I'm really excited to drive this car because it's even lighter than the Exige, right? It's a little less than 2,000 pounds. It's a little softer around the edges, or so I've heard, and it's got a little less power. So I think it should be more usable on this particular road. So.
Yeah. Plus, this particular car has the touring package suspension, which is sorry, I should say the non-sport suspension. So it's actually a little bit softer than probably the base suspension was in the Exige that you were driving.
That's actually music to my ears because I like a softer suspension for this road. Not to ding the Exige, but it's just for this particular road. I think I'm expecting this car to feel a little more confidence-inspiring.
I mostly bought this car for doing canyon runs, so I didn't really ever intend on setting it up to do too much track time. I wanted to be able to occasionally go to the track, but that wasn't ever going to be the focus of the car. Okay,
so this is the right choice then. And open top. I mean,
it's California.
It's California. I mean, the Exige is great, but once you have that top on you, it's such a cramped car. And this one, I just feel like I have so much more space to play with. So yeah, let's take it for a drive.
Cool.
Alright, so this is like deja vu, considering I just drove the Exige S240 last week. This feels like essentially the same chassis, which I'm guessing it is. Aluminum tub, still extremely awkward to get in and out of. This car feels even lighter in its controls than the Exige. Somehow I think the shifter even feels a little bit more direct than the Exige. I'm not sure why that is. The one thing that does make this car a little tricky to get used to is the clutch engagement, because the clutch doesn't engage until very high in the pedal travel. I don't know if that's just an adjustment thing or if these cars are just designed like that.
Yeah, the steering actually used to be a little bit stiffer even at medium speeds, but I got an alignment done last week and it seems to really kind of lighten it up a little.
Oh, okay, at track spec?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm guessing you just had them reduce the caster angle a little bit?
I just sort of trust them to do whatever they think is best, so.
Yeah. I mean, those guys are great.
Yeah, they are.
So back when you bought this car last year, what other cars were you considering? Were you really just always set on having an Elise, or were you just looking for anything that was really raw and engaging to drive?
Yeah, I cross-shopped with the Gen 1 Cayman for a while.
Okay.
And then just, the prices on the ones I wanted were always about $45, $50.
Yeah.
And these cars had dropped so much, at least the 05s anyway. I was like, I've wanted that car for the longest time. I already knew ergonomically it'd be better to own it earlier rather than later. So
yeah.
I figured I just pulled the trigger while I still could.
I mean, even for me, getting into it does induce a little bit of back pains.
Yeah, when I daily drive it, sometimes I can feel that if it's a day where I have to run a lot of errands, getting in and out. You get your technique down after a while, and it's not so bad. Plus, it's a lot easier if you're running with the roof off.
Yeah.
I've actually done Home Depot runs with things sticking up out the top. Yeah, it wasn't planned, but it worked out.
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret that I'm a huge fan of convertibles, having owned, an S2000 and convincing my girlfriend to buy another S2000. And I love the Boxster. These cars, just having the roof off just makes it it's not only more enjoyable as a driving experience, but it just makes them so much more comfortable in terms of getting in and out of, being able to carry more things in a pinch. And it's perfect for California weather, I gotta say. I mean, today's pretty much the ideal weather for driving a car like this.
Not sure if I could live anywhere else.
Another benefit of having the top down, I think, is it makes some of the interior creaks and rattles just kind of disappear.
Wind noise covers them.
Yeah, you hear more wind, you hear the trees, you hear the grass, the animals. It just makes everything better. For having a little 1.8 liter 4-cylinder with no supercharger, at low revs, it's perfectly drivable. It feels a little bit quicker than an AP1 S2000, which has a bigger engine. What tires are you running on here again?
These are Toyo Archer plates.
Okay. So very, very sticky street tire. The sensation of speed you get in this thing is just insane. Just something about the wind rushing over your head, and then, sitting so low in the car and feeling everything through the steering wheel just makes you feel like you're going so much faster than you probably are.
Yeah, all the sensations in this car are pretty well amped up.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice. You can actually enjoy going at speeds they're almost reasonable.
Having the stock exhaust, this thing isn't droney at all.
The exhaust in this car is pretty timid. It gets a little droney at freeway speeds.
Oh, does it?
I can drive in and out of my neighborhood at night without bothering people, so
yeah,
you kind of have the balance.
Comparing to the Exige, this might feel more refined, but at the end of the day, it's still a back-breaking little Lotus.
Oh yeah. I mean, this car, you hear it everywhere. I mean, the fiberglass body panels, they kind of work together and they rub together and they make little squeaks.
All in the name of lightweight.
Yeah, I wanted to own one lightweight car in my life that was kind of set up like this, so
yep,
got what I wanted.
All right, so let's push it a little harder here and see how this handles. This better than the Exige. Yeah, I hate to say it, but for this particular road, this car is it's more approachable. The limits are more approachable, and it doesn't even come down to the fact that this has like 100 horsepower less than the Exige. It's just the suspension. I mean, it's just so much more compliant. It gives me more confidence as a driver. Pedal modulation is one of the best I've felt in any car, hands down.
The controls are all pretty direct. The throttle is just a cable that goes back to the engine. It's whatever you tell it to do, it's going to do.
No traction control.
Nope. No limited slip. Just
open diff.
Yep.
Okay.
It's purely raw.
For an open diff, I must say the corner exit traction is really, really good.
For the longest time, Lotus never even wanted to offer one as an option because they felt like they didn't need it.
I'm also a huge fan of this engine. It reminds me of a VTEC, I have to say.
Now, when I first started looking for an Elise, for a while, I was actually searching for ones where people had already done a K20 swap.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
That would be fun.
Oh, yes. But now that I've had this for a year, actually, I think this engine and this chassis are good. They're very good combination.
Yeah, they go together very, very well. I think this engine reminds me, at least on paper, of the B18 series Honda. 1.8 liter dual overhead cam, all the goodies, variable valve timing, revs to over 8,000. It does have a slightly distinct sound about it. It doesn't quite sound like a Honda engine. I don't know what it is, but it still gives you that really nice induction noise, revving it all the way out. What was the MSRP on these cars back in 05?
46,000, I think.
Really?
No, never. Yeah, sorry.
These have
Based
held
have that memorized.
But under 50 grand.
Yeah.
Okay, so for that money, considering that was 11 years ago, these are still easily worth 30 to 35 grand, I would say, in good condition.
Yeah, I want to say the final year they were offering the car new, the prices had risen into the 60s. But
Oh, okay. I'm sure you get lots of compliments just driving it around.
a lot of weird questions like, what kind of Ferrari is that?
What kind of Ferrari is that? Yeah.
And my favorite one so far, somebody asked me if it was a hybrid Tesla because they saw me filling up with gas.
Oh, like the Tesla Roadster.
I love the Bay Area.
Yeah, that's such a Bay Area thing to ask. And yeah, just what you use this car for is exactly in line with what you'd use an S2000 for. Whereas the Exige is a hardcore track toy. This can be a hardcore track toy, but it's also a great little weekend cruiser canyon car.
Yeah, it's a lot easier for me to get back to the back roads than it is to get to a track day. So
Yeah.
I've left it set up where I know what I'll be doing most of the time. Lotus did a really good job on kind of coordinating the relation between the controls and the driver, and just makes it easy just to get out and enjoy it.
It's so effortless. I mean, the pedal layout's perfect for heel toe. The clutch is light. The brakes, you can really slam on them pretty hard without locking them up. The throttle pedal, the travel is short, but it's very sensitive, so you can easily blip it with just the lightest touch. I want one of these.
You have an S2000 in the driveway, so you're doing fine.
That's the girlfriend's S2000. I don't get to drive it all that often. I think the one thing that would make this car even more amazing is having an AP1-like engine. So a little bigger, 2-liter, more power, 240-ish horsepower, and just revving to 9,000. I mean, this car's damn near perfect already, but if just a little bit more power would just make it ideal without adding the supercharger. As much as I like the power and the torque of having supercharger, the sound does kind of bother me after a while. I don't know what it is. It's a whine. I mean, there's no way around it.
The exhaust is a pretty common thing to get modded.
I'm more a fan of induction noise than exhaust note anyway. So as long as I can hear it, it's behind my head, it sounds good to me. I don't really care what it sounds like on the outside. So do you have any future plans for this car in terms of modifying it, taking it to the track or anything, or just enjoying it the way it is?
I'm going to try to take it to Laguna Seca in August.
Nice.
That's pretty much it for tracking plans. That'll be my first track outing. So
Okay.
I wanted to own the car and really get to know it for a while before putting it at speeds where
Makes sense.
it gets more interesting. As far as modifications, not really.
I mean, what is there to modify? I mean, it's already
There isn't much in this car.
so damn perfect.
I mean, I think it's probably unlikely that we see cars like this again anytime soon.
Yeah.
I think the 4C's the closest thing to it we've seen recently, and
Yeah.
probably that'll be the last thing like that.
Not having the manual is just the big bummer for me, and I like the naturally aspirated engine, but I'm biased. Yeah, thanks again, Kai, for letting me drive
Welcome.
your Elise. I've said it a few times before in previous videos, but I think this time it really is true that this is probably now my favorite car to drive in the canyons. It used to be the S2000 or maybe like the modified NSX that I reviewed, but this one, hands down, best handling car I've ever driven in the canyons. I mean, what else is there to say? Colin Chapman, hats off to you for sticking with the philosophy of lightweight is better, and your company has clearly kept that philosophy moving forward into the 21st century. So thanks again, guys, for watching my video. If you like it, please comment and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys next time.